off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Inside the Huddle with Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Fires a pass, and it's intercepted by the Huskers at the 25, Jay Foreman. And Foreman takes it down to the 19-yard line of Oklahoma. Another big play by the Blackshirts.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging.
Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. All your imaging needs, and also a clear path to some healthier days and times. I don't know if you can tell by my voice that the bubonic plague has affected me to the utmost, Harrison. And I don't even want to say, Harrison, where I'm at right now. You could tell where I'm at, but this is called quarantine.
You stay away. Don't bring any.
No, I was going to invite you over for. We got a couple games today. I got a chair over here. You ever watch Wedding Crashers?
Oh yeah, great film.
You know when Will Ferrell is downstairs, he's talking about Mom the Meatloaf.
Yeah,
that's me down there. It just smells. You know what? Hey Harrison, it smells like meatloaf. It smells like bad meatloaf down here, man. But I don't think I have the vid. I don't know what's going on, but. A little under the weather, and plus that means that my technical skills, which are very limited in general, were very limited today. So I apologize. A little story about that, Harrison. Earlier in the week, I think we were talking about getting recruited and now I think obviously it's changed about the entrance exams and stuff. You get into college for athletes, I guess, or just maybe in general. You probably know a little bit more
I
than
don't know.
me.
It's different. Like, what you guys not?
We had to have in order to get a scholarship. Now, depending on where you were going. Now, trust me, the story about me and Northwestern coach is pretty funny. But you had to have a 2.0 GPA, and you had to get above a 17 on the ACT, and I'm not sure about the SAT. The rumor was that SAT was harder. So, what do you think Jay Foreman took? The ACT. And I had a well above a 2 or a 2.0. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I had godparent, I had two godmothers. But Phyllis Knapp, she worked in the library, and she always made sure, that I got my stuff. And I mean, she wrote me pretty hard, and so that I always give thanks to her that helped my GPA. And so I didn't think I was going to pass just because I hated school. And so I took the, they give you this big old like book of like a prep, right?
And the ACT prep.
Yeah. And then they had a couple classes, how to, work on the timing and don't waste too many times on answers you don't know. And so I took it my junior year, and I'd really like kind of prepped for it because it was immediately after making state basketball. So you're kind of worn down anyways, and then you're stressed about because I wanted, it was either scholarship or bust for me, and this is obviously going along the times of spring football and a ton of official visits or unofficial visits yesterday or across the country. I went and took that bad boy, Harrison. I was sick, which is kind of funny. I mean, really sick, but I was like, all right, I got to go. I paid this money to go do it. I saved up for it, and my dad, paid the other half, and I already paid for the one 2 weeks later. You know what I mean? Or not 2 weeks.
Those things were expensive too.
Right. Yeah. Actually, it wasn't 2 weeks later. It was 2 months later because they know that you would get your results in a month. And then I was like, all right, I need a month.
Yeah.
Man, I took that bad boy, and I swear to God, Harrison, I was so tired and worn out after I got it. I remember it was a Saturday morning. I literally slept all day Saturday and Sunday. And I remember I got somehow I put the school's address, to get the result. I don't know. I think my high school coach, obviously, gave me the address to send. And boy, when I tell you I passed that bad boy, Harrison, and I got 24, I said, listen, it must be. I kept checking it, Harrison, because there's like different sections.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was just looking for 17 and above, you know what I mean? And I actually did pretty good, and I'm probably, a little bit smarter than I give myself credit for. I think I just hated school, just the confines of I like action or whatever. Well, then you get recruited, and then, we weren't allowed to take a lot of official visits. It was definitely on your own dime. I went on a couple, with my dad, and then, I got recruited, started to play well. Gary Barnett came in. At that time, he was at Northwestern. And, Northwestern is like Stanford. Or at least I thought,
Stanford of the Big Ten at the very least.
Right. Yeah. Well, I just knew you had to be smart there. I mean, that's what I mean. You got to think we didn't have social media. We didn't have anything. So I'm just going on word of mouth. You know what I'm saying?
They're well renowned. Like, I think their money for NIL is going to lawyers.
Right. Yeah. And back then it was like what Gary Barnett did down there. Was legendary, and the biggest thing attraction to him was they had black uniforms. So I was like, they look pretty cool when they made the Rose Bowl. And I remember asking him, because my dad kind of ran the whole thing, which was great. He'd been through it before and knew a lot more. And I said, man, we're talking about my scores, and I was like, man, how can I get in? Because I'm thinking you need like a 30 to get there. Gary Burnett, I was like, oh, with your GPA and, we're going to give you, you're at full ride scholarship and this, and this. He's like, well, we'll get you in. That's not a problem. He's like, this is great. You know what I'm saying? Hey, my dad stood up off the table, pounded, remember when Denny Green said that we all who we thought they were, back then? He pounded the table. My dad's like 6'4", you know what I'm saying? He was big back then. Pound the table. He was like, hey, I know you're going to get him in. Right, the paper says you're getting it in. How you gonna keep them in there? Hey, you gotta know your limitations, man. Hey, Harrison, he was like, hey, I know my son. Listen, we got the when I got the ACT score, it was like Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory got the golden car. I'm in there.
A once in a lifetime.
Hey, Harrison, I ran around. So in my high school at that time, it's totally different now. It was like you walk in, you either go downstairs or upstairs. You know what I mean? And upstairs, it's kind of like they have the library and then, different classes. Man, I swear to God, every assistant coach, I went into classes. I said, hey, I passed. I'm in there. We celebrating. I think I bought about 4 cheeseburgers to everybody and stuff like that because I was still working. We was parlay. You know how they show the rappers now and the NFL players having the little bottle service and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was Coca-Cola on Jay. Refills. I'll get all the refills you want down there, man. But that brought back some good memories.
Push your luck. Did you try to get a second score and see if you're a super genius, or did you just lock in at 24 and never touch it again?
Harrison, you know better than that. Listen,
it's 24.
Harrison, once I became eligible, I knew I was getting a scholarship, right? Because I had enough offers. Yeah. So, if I could get in Northwestern and I played pretty decent enough, at that time, I knew I was going to get places. But it was crazy. Once I got that 24, then UCLA, USC, they started to come in and all that, because I, obviously had a good score. But then I went to immediately, when I'm going to graduate. And so I gotten ahead, as far as school goes. And so that last semester, bro, I was chilling, so it was, I was like, nah, I want my money back, Harrison. The money that I blew at lunch was the money that I was getting back from taking that test. I'm getting that money back. I'm not taking another test. That's it. It's like a 40 for these guys that just, we just had the pro day for Nebraska.
Well, not really though, because
you want to
is going to look at your bad score and shut you down for it.
Well, look at it's easier to get in school now because it's based, I think, on GPA. But my analogy is this: once you run a good 40 at the combine, I ain't running that at the pro day. So it's a good segue in there. You know what I'm saying? Because you've already shown what you could do. You only do it again if you don't do well. That's the great thing about the pro day, and it's even better if you're able to go to the combine. So that's my analogy. When you ask me, did I take another story? No, I'm not that motivated when it comes to school. I was motivated. I was motivated to become eligible. I studied for it. And I didn't like the idea of school, I guess. I never did well. I got kicked out of Montessori school. I was just too active. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I didn't want an education or something like that. I'm probably embellishing a little bit. I think it's just the confine of, and plus I knew, a lot was on the line, and then so, just real quick before we go to break, you got the Nebraska Pro Day, and were guys that went to the combine, probably didn't run as much as guys that didn't. You got Bullock, who ran well, and then obviously Banks, did a really good job, and then obviously Gifford and all those guys in Nash did a really good job of showing out for Nebraska. And obviously yesterday, I think you had the UFL playing. You had scouts from there. They get all the information, so there's more options for these guys to continue on their career. But then more importantly, or just as important, they're able to represent themselves in the University of Nebraska. So I think, for the, the amount of lean times we've had, probably the last, 10 years or give or take, I don't even know. But, this year where you're able to make a bowl game, I think it actually, worked out perfect for a lot of the guys that have been holdovers over, 2, maybe 3 coaching staffs that were, they get finally, it's a really good testament to, I know we got the NCAA going on. I was listening to Bruce Pearl, because I ain't got nothing else to do. And he talked about Caldwell starting and talked about his high school experience where the Atlanta High School Association made him ineligible because of dotting the I and a crossing the T to go play at a prep school. Single mom, where obviously, things are a little lean. And he knew he had to get a scholarship, and they took him, and they always recruited, Bruce Pearl recruited, high profile, transfers over him, Walker Kessler and guys like that. But this year he's starting, and he's starting with Boone, especially because Boone came back, and now he has 3 bell cows as a senior. And that's what, my analogy is with these Nebraska guys, the older ones, right? And even some of the guys that have took the leap of faith to come in as transfer portal guys is that you get the, sometimes, when you get out of the social media way and believe in the opportunity, obviously Matt Rule being the coach and everything, and Coach Corey, the strength coach, and the coaching that they got. And even though it's tough, at the end of the season, it becomes worth it, and so I think that's a, good testament to kids, and obviously, hopefully, they all get what they hopefully deserve, and that's a shot at the NFL, but more importantly, ability to prove themselves and stick, because that's the hardest thing to do. Getting in the NFL, I wouldn't say it's easy. Staying and progressing is probably the hardest thing to do, because there's an amount of distractions, but then also when you're getting paid a lot of money, there's a lot of politics that goes with it.
Well, if they made it to the NFL, they're probably used to getting paid a lot of money.
Well, Harrison, especially here, you know, some guys that are going in the NFL to take a pay cut, or will be.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. We're going to see, you know. Let me ask you this before we go to our first break here. Like, do you believe that the market will level out? Because that was like kind of the argument long time. Like, the market will balance out. Like, people.
Yeah, I think
asking for $5 million without playing doesn't sound like.
Yeah, I think ideally, I think it will, because there's not a return on your investment. Because if you're giving a whole bunch of money to a player or a team, the only time that feels like it's worth it is if you win the championships. And there's only one champion in every sport. And, you know, and I guess you could look at conference championships and stuff like that, right? I think hopefully, and I don't know anything about it, but maybe if this 105 comes to fruition, then they can add on contracts. Then they can add on kind of a rookie cap or a freshman cap. And if you have a collective that wants to pay them on the outside, then that's just your advantage, you know, of that. You get what I'm saying?
They need some rules in place yet.
I think they do, because I think it'll blow up, and then you won't have anything, and then you might just go back to what we had 10 years ago, and then that will be a forced kind of reset. I think if they could get in and somehow hire a like a president of college football, or whatever you want to call them, advisory board, make it regional, and then obviously probably state by state have a representative, and somebody not directly associated with the football teams or whatever. I think you could do it. But then on the flip side, also the players are going to need representation. They're going to need a union and stuff like that. So I mean, there's a lot of things that need to go on in order to make it right. But hopefully they have some sort of vision that where they can't. It's not sustainable. Number one, if I'm in the locker room and Harrison comes in there, and I say I was a starter for 2 years, and you come in as a 17, 18-year-old kid making $2 million, and then you can't bust a grape. Oh, well, that's going to be dissension in that locker room. Straight up. I mean, that's the honest to God truth, right? But then also, if now say this, Harrison, say if you pay Jay Foreman $5 million, like you said, to play any position in any sport, and then I don't deliver, how excited are you going to be to the next time that you have to continue to write those checks?
I don't know. That's why I'm amazed that some schools still seem to be getting checks.
I don't think the numbers that people. I don't think the numbers that people are saying are true. Like I got a couple of friends that are agents, and they're not all the way always true. It's still a ton of money. I think it's a puff your chest out with these guys now. But I think what's going to happen though, Harrison, I'm going to tell you, if it does bottom out, I think teams are going to be sold. You're going to have like right now, we'll look at it, be Advanced Medical Imaging owned in Nebraska. Or part of it. It'll be corporate.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It'll be corporate. It'll be Advanced Medical Imaging. I'm going to keep blowing up Advanced Medical Imaging because I got to go there again. I don't know if I'll be able to go this week, but I got to go again. Advanced Medical Imaging on the stadiums. Advanced Medical Imaging or 937 the ticket on the field. That's where the corporate sponsorships will be coming in, because that's where the real money will come in.
Yeah,
right?
We're seeing like a little bits of nothing to what you're saying, but we're seeing them creep in.
Look at Penn State. I think Penn State didn't Penn State do one or something? Like Penn State did one. I mean, I think they had some
State, or was it Oklahoma State? Somebody had the barcode on the back of the helmet.
Yeah,
just selling up jersey space, which I think they had to get rid of it, but they're trying it at least.
Yeah, they're trying it. And I mean, you got to think where, like, so billionaires buy teams as just something to talk about, probably at the cognac club or whatever. They're sitting there like, me and you billionaires, I'm gonna buy a sports team. So you can say, I got one up on you, right? They don't make their money off of doing that. So, but there's a lot of people with a lot of money that don't get the chance to buy the teams. Well, what's next? What's the next biggest product besides the NFL? Arguably college football, and there's no regulations. So I'm sure billionaires love no regulations with a lot of money. So why wouldn't they? Get what I'm saying?
Sports gambling. What another easy avenue to.
Right, DraftKings. You could, I mean, they could just, just turn, everybody just up there on their phones. Now you can do it from your phones and stuff like that. So it's gonna
buyers for sure, like the DraftKings and all those. Like if it really got to that point where it bottomed out, like those.
They would come in and feast on college football. And then here's the teams that are most vulnerable. And I know we're up against the break. Is like I wouldn't say SMU, but I'll say like a Colorado that doesn't have a big financial alumni base that's historically given money, but are on the come up, and say you need to go buy a roster. Like Texas Tech is an example, but it's oil money where they've never been a true player in the Big 12, but they've probably spent the most in NIL, right? Or like it's a Mississippi State or something, like a team that's kind of like below the blue bloods and the like perceptive blue bloods. So not Nebraska, not those type of teams, the Mississippi States, the Oklahoma States, like even Arkansas, I wouldn't say, Arkansas, like a Northwestern, it'd probably be some like tech billionaire or like, like a Stanford or something like that, or Influx. But then also, depending on what happens, and I know it's a different sport, but with golf and this whole, like, they combine, you bring in some overseas money. Don't think that they won't come in and do it here in as long as it's up, somewhat up, uptight, that they won't do it. So it's times to be changed. At times this is a time of change, and unfortunately, fortunately for some players, and it's a very small percentage of players that are getting really handsomely paid, and it's all based on where they're at. They're able to take advantage of it. But I think more importantly, when you really kind of peel back the onion, they're I wouldn't say they're getting taken advantage of, but they don't know how to navigate this world of big money at 18, 19 years old. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll talk a little more spring ball, but then we'll dive in to see who's Harrison got in the Sweet 16. And were you surprised by what Duke did? And is the whole America is asking for somebody to beat Duke? Jay Foreman, Harrison, Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging. We'll be right back.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
While learning to read takes practice, teachers know that loving to read takes enthusiasm, both in the classroom and at home. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Reading books with children will help them discover a passion for reading. Bring the celebration of literacy into your home and our public schools all year long with Read Across America. When we make the time to read with children, we foster a lifetime of learning.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Back to Inside the Huddle, sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging. Here is your host, Jay Foreman.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Advanced Medical, or Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Take care of all your imaging needs. They also have added body comp, which I don't need to have any. I don't need any more bad news. But then, more importantly, October 11th, the second breast cancer awareness walk. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. We'll make sure when the time comes right. We want all the ticket listeners, during week listeners, and obviously on the weekend warriors as well to participate, because it's a good cause and also a good company over there and a great group of people. So, Harrison, yesterday, the Dukies and Florida pushed through. I'd probably say we just were talking about Texas Tech as far as the football team. I'm sure Texas Tech felt like they let that one slip away, and Florida was able to, push through at the end. And that's kind of what they've been able to do, is kind of situational basketball you in size and physicality and timely shots. It's kind of been their thing, and especially in the NCAA tournament. So that, let's just say, all right, Florida held serve, right? The same way they beat UConn, obviously, which led to Dan Hurley to voice his displeasure. Texas Tech probably feels the same way, but more importantly, I think probably the most impressive game was the Duke Blue Devils, when the way that they dismantled Alabama. from my opinion. I want yours, but I think nothing to take away from Duke. I think this game set up perfect for Duke to, play against Alabama off a historic night as far as they shot 61 or 51 threes. Sears hit 10 of 16. I mean, those are hard games to come back off of, and in a short time. And Duke's size up front, as far as 6'6", 6'6". Cooper Flagg is 6'8", 6'9". Against relatively small guards but big like forwards and centers, worked out well against Bama because there was no lanes, there was no creases, and they weren't hitting to make that defense extend. And then also I think that the way Alabama was going to be able to win this game is especially with Cooper Flagg kind of starting off a little slow, they need to play a little bit faster. And what I'm meaning by that, you need to force the action. And I think it was too little, too late. And then obviously with the free throw shooting down the stretch and timely baskets, they end up putting the 20 burger on them.
Yeah, I mean, the most obvious thing is you just knew Alabama was probably going to have a hard time coming off that game versus who was it, BYU. That game was unreal how fast they were playing. And I think they finished. It wasn't quite 50, but it's pretty damn near close to 50% from the 3-point line. So I know they took 50, but I think they made 25 or 24 of them. So it's to come off a night like that, and then, excuse me, in that last game, there were I think they only made about 8 threes and they shot about 31.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of feeling themselves a little bit from the 3-point line. They weren't hitting nearly to the same clip. And I just think their offense felt out of sync the whole time. And when you're playing against Duke, 2 minutes of your offense stalling out leads to a 10-point deficit. And it happened a couple times, and Duke was able to pull away pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I think the worst part about it is, if I'm Coach Oates and the players, is the amount of simple defensive breakdowns in the first half. You got to think Duke started off hot. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were clicking. But Bama went in down by 9. If I'm Bama, I'm like, oh, look, we can't hit a broadside of a barn. We're down by 9. We have probably, and I think they mentioned at halftime, I don't know if it was Barkley or Kenny Smith, just in simple pick and rolls and switches, they gave up 12 points. Now, not saying that Duke would have scored 12. Did you didn't make them score. You gave them easy layups and kick out threes. I think the worst play where you knew kind of Alabama was going to be in for a long night. The game wasn't going to work their way. They were down by 7. They forced I think Cooper Flagg into a bad shot.
Yep.
The ball came off the rim. 3 Bama guys are there. They watch it. He goes and gets it. Wanted to put it back up, kicked it back out to their backup kind of point guard. 3. So you go from it's a 5-point swing. You go from being down 7 with a chance to either be down 5 or 4, and the game totally changes, to a kick out 3. Now you're down by 10. It's almost like you cannot get over the hump or get out of your own way. And that right there. And it was early in the second half of the game, or first half or whatever. You knew the game was over. I think Duke won more of the 50-50 balls. And I will say this, Harrison, before we move on to today's games. Sometimes when you hit a lot of threes, you don't play defense. So when Duke was probably like, all right, they won't shoot like that against us. We're going to play good defense. But then they really attacked the miscues of Bama's, man-to-man defense. You should never go in a pick and roll and not have a plan for Cooper Flagg.
Well, I mean, the same. We shouldn't be too shocked. BYU was giving them the work too.
Right. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, right. Any other game, BYU probably wins, right?
They scored 88 points on Bama. Yeah. They were playing really good ball. That's Bama's taking a lot of shots, but at the same time, BYU's offense looks good. They were just playing an unreal Bama, but you kind of saw that. And then, with BYU, you're not thinking probably the most athletic team out there, but they were getting a lot of points downhill. Yeah, they're a good 3-point shooting team, but they were showing inside that Alabama's weak.
Yeah, and they can be a little bit undisciplined, and they attacked some undisciplined players. So they, Duke, gets to move on. But today, I think, Tom Izzo, he's kind of, I wouldn't say the fan favorite, but the sentimental. He's he had his statement that, when the transfer portal is open during NCAA, he's like, look, I'm going to just roll with my guys, and this is what I'm going to do. He's been Michigan State through and through. He could have either retired or left and went to other colleges multiple times. They take on Auburn, and, two senior-laden teams, right? Two tough teams, physical. Michigan State doesn't shoot it well from three at all. Auburn, and when they get hot, they got a good inside-outside game. I think Michigan State's going to have to keep it close like they do, and then just beat them up down the stretch. They're a pretty good free throw shooting team. I like to think that their 3-point plays come from physicality and ones, and that's what they've done and done best. And you want to give a shout out to local product Frankie Fiddler, doing a really good job. He's really adjusted to Michigan State, and Tom Izzo has done really well this year, and it's been a big part of their run. But I think Auburn has a little bit too much. They have a dude in Broom. I mean, he's a dude. If Cooper Flagg was not in the draft, he's that dude. He's that guy. I think they have depth. I think they go, potentially they could go to 11. They'll definitely go 8 or 9. Same with Michigan State. I just think they just have a little bit more offensive firepower, and they also play good D. You get what I'm saying? Usually Michigan State's defense is probably like there's a big gap. I don't think there's a huge gap between them and Auburn. And Auburn can play. If you want to get in the track meet, they can play in the track meet. If you want to get in there and tussle it up, I think they could do that. So I'm gonna pick. I'm picking Auburn. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I'd love to pick Tom Izzo and Michigan State. I'm gonna go Auburn too. I just think Michigan State is a little bit similar to Nebraska. I shouldn't say a little bit. Their offense is a lot better, but when you're comparing them, at least in my mind, to like these other teams that are left in this tournament, their offense is quite a ways below. Like they're gonna have a hard time beating anybody if the game gets 80+ points.
Yeah, I think over like 68 points, there's it's probably that's where you really gotta be humming. So we're lock and step there. Houston against Tennessee. Man, I thought Houston was going to beat the brakes off of Purdue. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool impact. That was a pretty cool. I was waiting for them to blow. Well, they were up by 10. And I think they started to coast, but they played Tennessee. Tennessee was actually more. I think I look at Tennessee as a little bit better version of Michigan State. As far as like offensively, they aren't like Auburn and obviously Duke and all those guys. And Houston's been better offensively, especially shooting from three. I'm picking Houston because I think they can match Tennessee's defense, and I think they got enough size and shooting. But more importantly, Ramon Walker Jr. goes to Houston. It's one of my best friends I ever played with, one of the greatest dudes that I ever played with, best teammates out there. Little Money Jr., man. I remember seeing him when he was like 4 years old and, running around, and this dude is playing for Houston. So I'm going to pick Houston. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think this game right here, I think they tip off about 1 o'clock. That's going to be a straight up street fight. Dude, I'm telling you right now, Calvin Sampson has probably been off the chain for the last 36 hours. Houston's going to come out ready for a brawl, and so is Tennessee. But I'm going to pick Houston.
Yeah, this is not much fun. I'm going to agree. I'm with you as well. For the sake of my bracket, if I'm going to win any money on any of this March Madness, I'm going to have Houston pull through. I mean, they're both really physical teams. Obviously, with Sampson, the defense, he's going to be pretty elite. They're pretty good at turning the ball over. I'm just going to go with what's more proven at this point. I think both these teams are pretty similar, though, that it is going to be, out of all the games that are going to be played in the Elite Eight, this one by far, I think, is going to be the most physical.
Oh, yeah. This game going to be like 67-63 with
They're
like.
going to need to bring like the soccer yellow cards.
Right.
Just to be ready. Just to get ahead of it.
It really is going to come down to who's reffing this game. You got to get a control of this game right from the get-go, because there's some big humans out there that got different type of mindsets. But I like it, though. And anyways, a little Sweet 16 Saturday. Not much going on in spring football. I think it's combed over probably 25 times. I will tell you one thing about spring football. It's separation time, and it's a great opportunity for people to go from an option to an answer. But those answers aren't going to be true answers until you get a little bit later in the year. But for my man Harrison, appreciate you with the the ones and twos, and me getting my process going on here in jail here. Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. We'll holler at you next week.